Well, hello. It's been a little while. Welcome back. Yeah, it has been a hot minute. It's early June, and so I clearly have not done monthly updates like I thought I would. Um, but I'm going to make a quick one, and it's just, I think this is the future of the channel. So if you were expecting answers to the universe's questions, you're gonna have to keep looking. This is getting more and more focused on just quick little check-ins. It's like what I have time for. I want to use my time for other things, and I am having less and less of it available, even for other goals of mine. So anyway, hi, my name's Kara. This is a channel that I used for all of 2020 and now monthly-ish to document my own process of getting out of my student loan debt. Um, the last update I gave was at the end of March when I finished paying off one of my loans, which was awesome. And then, as I said, I was using time to replenish my savings, and then I'm going to turn towards my other loan. And anyway, just let's give like a real update. It is early June. This month I will finish replenishing my savings, and in the previous video I went and rewatched it because I was like, I don't even know what I last said. I said I wanted 3 months expenses, and I decided I would actually be more comfortable having 4 months expenses saved up. So it's taking me just a little bit longer to make sure that my savings are at that level. But this month I will have that saved up. And now I will be turning towards my other loan, singular, which is my undergrad. I am 38 and I'm about to finish paying for college. Um, so that loan is what remains. It has a 2% interest rate, which is much less painful than the other one, which had been hovering close to 7%. It was in the high six. Um, so everything is going according to plan. The way that I had wanted to map out the year of, in the first quarter, pay off Navient, then replenish my savings, then attack the other loan, which is held by a company called Aspire. And that's all working. I have gotten so busy though, and so it seems very chaotic, but this relevant update for you is now complete. I could stop, but I do want to just say what's been going on at my work, which is still a great place to be. I absolutely love working at this natural grocer here in Sandpoint. I have been there almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years in October. And I have been ordering and receiving and doing kind of inventory management for that whole time. And recently, with some conversations with a friend and then conversation at work, I uncovered this desire I didn't know that I really had to become the store's bookkeeper. And our current bookkeeper is amazing, and she's been doing it for, I think, 7 or 8 years or something like that. And she's great at it. I I have no illusion that I will be like her anytime soon. But she does want to retire in like January. And so I'm now doing my job plus trying to learn her job. Plus, we need to hire somebody that I can train to do what I do. So work has gotten very intense. There's not a minute to spare. And if you want to move to Sandpoint, Idaho and learn inventory managing, I'd be so happy to meet you. Come and take my job. um, Come and take my job. And if you're detail oriented, it's a job that you might actually enjoy as much as I have. But I am going to be making this transition, and I've been, using Skillshare and watching YouTube videos and trying to learn about accounting and bookkeeping. Um, and it's a different world. It's definitely a different world, but it's not beyond my capacity. And my mother was a bookkeeper for many businesses throughout my life, so I have not only the current bookkeeper who is kind enough to offer her mentorship for years to come. Obviously, I can also talk to my mother and learn from her. So it's good, and I'm looking forward to that change. I also am now experiencing that it's really making these months, the rest of this year, and of course, as I begin that solo in the coming year, it's really intense to be doing so much work. And anyway, I'm back to being a beginner at something, and so I have to be willing to kind of suck at something. And I don't like that, but it's it's for it's for growth, and it's to learn a new skill that I'm actually really excited to understand. So there's enough intrinsic motivation, plus plus the way it would move my schedule in the future is very appealing. Right now, sometimes my life is run on a shipping company's schedule, and when is the truck going to arrive, and it is very late or it is very early. And the bookkeeper sure doesn't have to deal with that. And that's kind of appealing. I could start planning my own life and know that those hours are going to be reality, and have time that is predictable, and get after my own goals. So there's a change at work. I signed up for Sandpoint's, I don't know if it's a signature event necessarily, but there's a swim here called the Longbridge Swim. It's close to 1.5 miles, and it is August 7th. So I will start training for that and swim 1.5 miles in a cold mountain lake soon. I had signed up to do this in 2020, but of course it was canceled due to COVID. So this year it's going to happen, and I have really, really enjoyed getting ready for that in the past, even though I didn't get to do it yet. So this week I will actually begin training. So here's to swimming in very, very cold water. And then another thing, this is sad, but it's definitely on my mind and taking up a lot of my mental energy and even a bit of my time. But my friend Gabe, who I've mentioned here occasionally, his doctors about 2 weeks ago gave him 3 weeks. And so I try to visit him when he's feeling up for it, and it's very hard. It, like, what else could it be, right? And it just seems like it's harder than it needs to be. There have been some real screw ups with doctors, and like, not that the doctors have done something wrong. It's, he hasn't had a social worker, and I don't want to intrude, but like, things like getting him rides to appointments, and then the ride shows up, and it's like hard for him to sit in a wheelchair that is strapped to the inside of a van. It is painful, and it is just hard. And then they find out that that driver also has another client to pick up who's 30 miles in the opposite direction from where Gabe needs to go. And so that's another hour of driving time in that torturous, painful situation. Just things like that where you just think, don't they know? Don't they know he's in pain? Everybody does their best. Everybody does their best, but it's very sad, and so that definitely takes up a lot of my thinking these days. And when I get the chance to see him, it's wonderful, and it's so sad. His son has been able to visit, but like, he's 7, and you can just tell that this is awful. There's nothing else to really say about it. It's awful. So yeah, gosh. And now back to our regular programming. I hate to bounce from a topic like that onto long hair. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, the purpose of this was to be a quick update. So those are the things that are going on. And then what's been going on specifically, got to look back through my budget notes to see. I know my percent of net income used has been a little lower than I've wanted, but I'm sort of in this weird transition moment between focusing on one goal and another. So it looks like I used in April 49% of my income for savings instead of towards debt. It was towards savings. And last month was only 12%. Yeah, and that was a wake-up call to me. And that's why this video was kind of delayed. That was the wake-up call to me that just because I'm not attacking a debt very, very aggressively, I lost a lot of focus. And I mean, some of it is also everything that's going on, but life is always going to be happening. And so is crap. And so I need to get a little more focused back in. And so what my plan is, obviously, girl who makes this many lists probably has a plan. Like I said, in June, I'm going to finish replenishing my savings, and then I'm going to turn aggressively towards my last student loan. The balance on that right now is $17,435. So that's what I'm looking at. And what I want to do is actually, for the second half of the year, do a new 10K challenge. So yeah, basically to me, a 10K challenge is a certain amount of time in which I'm going to pay off $10,000 of debt. And so I'm looking to do July through December 2021. I'm going to pay off at least $10,000 and then only have 7 to go. Sounds really good to me. So yeah. And also having those more tangible timeline and amount, that kind of goal I respond well to. So that's what I'm planning to do for the rest of the year. I will try to update monthly-ish. Oh, and next month will be 3 years carnivore as well. So maybe I'll talk about that next month as well. But I've got stuff to do. You probably have stuff to do. So I hope you're getting after your goals and staying on track. And I will see you in a month. Maybe.